Hello, Sport fan. This is Stephen Hill for Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. Now, I know normally I do individual games of the week, but I am going to be doing the full entire slate of this week's Week 18 games for the NFL season. I know that the injury that happened in the Bills game that caused the game to be postponed and delayed affects a lot of this. But I am going to give you the full breakdown of the season because a lot of things fall down to tiebreakers and win-loss record with the Bills, with the Chiefs, and also the Bengals. With perspective to that, and also different playoffs are affected by this. So I am going to give you the full breakdown of this week's games. I know normally I do individual, but I am going to give you the full slate of games in this video. So we're going to start out without further ado. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates each and every time we have breakdowns here at Sports Choice Plus. Let's get right into it. Looking at the Chiefs and Raiders. So much rides on this game from a perspective of the Chiefs. It's simple. You have to win the game. If you want a chance to get the number one seed potentially, you have to win. Hope for Buffalo loss. Hope for a Bengals loss. You're looking at the season in totality. Patrick Mahomes is an MVP front runner. You've seen what he's been able to do week after week. He struggled a little bit against the Broncos. The Broncos seem to have his number for some way, shape, or form as far as making him look more human than versus any other team. It's an in-division game. The Raiders have had an up-and-down season. You look at the issues they've had, but Jared Stidham, when he did go up against the 49ers, he did look good. Looking at them not having Derek Carr, I thought that was going to be a distraction, but Stidham actually came out and played a good game. He's been in the Patriots system for a while. It makes sense why Josh McDaniels plugged him in. He looked good in a system in the Raiders because it's the same system as the Patriots use. In here, I don't think it's going to be a lot of surprises. I think Patrick Mahomes and company do take the win in this one. Moving forward, the Tennessee Titans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's simple. Win or go home. The Jacksonville Jaguars have the advantage in so many different perspectives. They have the better talent. They have the better roster. Right now, it could be deemed that they have better coaching right now because Vrabel is having issues with the injuries at the quarterback position. You look at Derrick Henry. He's not been himself as of late. He struggled with a foot injury. You got to ask yourself, that defense for the Titans, they've been going up and down, battling injuries all over the field. That offensive line for the Titans hasn't been necessarily blocking well. So in this game here, it's going to come down to the trenches. It's going to come down to the details of, can the offensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars withstand the rush from the defense of the Titans? Trevor Lawrence has showed himself to be bounced back to have a great year. Earlier in the season, you saw him struggle, but around that game where they went to London, I believe, and played, something clicked, something switched, and now Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson are on the same page, and you're looking at the Jaguars having an extra level of success because of what he's done. You're looking at exactly how they're able to trust their young talent, get the ball into their hands, and make plays. In this game, I think it comes straight down to that. Again, Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than any quarterback they have on the Titans, no matter if you're talking about backups, starters, anybody. So when you're looking at this game here, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars having the advantage, and I'm picking them to win the football game as well. Coming up in the next game, you have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a tough one because there's so much that the Bengals have, because it's so much on their minds, their hearts. My heart goes out to T. Higgins because he was involved with the play that involved Hamlin falling down and having cardiac arrest. But in this game here, the Baltimore Ravens have nothing to play for. They're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter their seeding. They're going to play who they're going to play. But the biggest thing in this is the Bengals. They have to win this game. And depending on the outcome of what the NFL says, they may have to play a game against the Bills again, or they may have a forfeit and win. A tie, or whatever the NFL chooses to do, or use the Pro Bowl week to make up that game. But they have to win this game if they do want a chance to get a number one seed. They need a little help as far as Kansas City losing and the Bills losing, but you got to keep in mind they want to win this football game. You want to go into the playoffs, possibly a number one seed, possibly a number two seed, so they want to do that to get the best possible angling to play who they want to play. In this game here, I got the Bengals winning big. I don't think that the Bengals offense is going to slow down. I think they're going to keep being who they are and continue to win. Next game on the docket, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. It's simple. Tampa's already in. They have no different place that they want to go as far as seeding. They're in. It's kind of simple as is. I think they have their guys still playing. I think Tampa rests a couple of guys. Mike Evans had a big week last week. You saw him come back to form, and Tom Brady came back to form as well with big plays to Mike Evans all day long. The Atlanta Falcons, their season's over. They know this. They're still going to play hard, so I'm picking them to win this. I think the Atlanta Falcons beat Tampa. There's nothing to play for if you're Tampa. This Patriots-Bills games becomes that much more bigger because you have to keep in mind the Patriots have a chance to make the playoffs. The Bills have a chance to be a number one seed. So this game matters to both sides. So I'm thinking this is going to be a playoff atmosphere type game. Bill Belichick loves to throw the kitchen sink at the Bills. He's had a lot of success over the years against the Bills. Not as of late, though, because Josh Allen has been playing like a true MVP candidate when he plays the Patriots. It's going to be a tough one, but I am picking the Buffalo Bills. I think it's an enormous amount of energy in the room. I think their team is rallying around Hamlin, and I think that this is going to be a rallying cry for the rest of their year. They're playing for number 3. They're playing, best believe, they're going to Stephon Diggs and company. It's going to be threes everywhere. You're going to have logos. You're going to have T-shirts. You're going to have so many different things riding, and I think that this is the game at home where the Bills busted open and they play a great offensive game. I'm picking the Bills to win this one at home against the Patriots. Minnesota Vikings taking on the Bears. This is tough because the Minnesota Vikings had a chance to potentially be the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed if the Eagles fell. You're looking at what they've been struggling with all season. They've been inconsistent at the wrong times. Their offense doesn't show up. It's either they win a close game or they get blown out. They either have a 2-point victory or they're blowing the doors off of the whole stadium. It's tough because the defense and offense never seem to be on the same page either week, and it's tough to call these games. I'm picking the upset in this one. I think the Chicago Bears and Fields, they're just going to play. They're going to play a football game. They're going to play a better football game than the Vikings play, and that's going to be one of the leading factors in this one. They're going to play the full game here. Coming up, because I like the Bears in that one just better. I don't know. They're streaky, and I don't like them being streaky. Coming up, the Texans versus the Colts. All the Texans have to do is lose. They have to lose. They get potentially the best NFL draft pick in the NFL. There's a lot of talent coming out. No conspiracy theory here, but I think the Colts are a better team. They play tough, but at times, they just don't have it in them. The Texans have no reason to win this game. If you think about this, they play hard throughout the season, but at times, it's just, I'm picking the Colts to win this one. I just think they're a more talented football team on paper and on the field. Jets and Dolphins. This is a tough one because the Dolphins have gone from playoff team to hinging out of the playoffs. Without Tua and Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback, you just got to ask yourself, how far is this Dolphins team going to go? Do you want to see a Dolphins team in the playoffs with Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback? Probably not. Tua was the best bet for them, having a great season. He's been in and out of concussion protocol. As we know, the coaching staff for the Dolphins says he's not a part of the final game's end-game planning. He possibly, if they make the playoffs, he probably won't still play in the playoffs due to him having 3 concussions on the year. It's just tough here. I think the Miami Dolphins are a better football team. I think they're going to win this football game because the Jets don't have anything to play for. The Jets slipped from being a dark horse to make the playoffs, a feel-good story, to boom, 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 5 losses later. They're now out of the playoff picture. I'm picking the Dolphins to win that one. Panthers versus Saints. This is a toss-up. I think that the Panthers have been playing good. They've been playing for Coach Wilks. I think he now is a candidate to stay in Carolina as the full-time head coach. I think that from off the radar, on the radar, he has the Panthers looking like an actual NFL franchise. And in replacing the old coaching regime, you're looking at him possibly solidifying this with the win against the Saints. I think the Carolina Panthers play hard. They do get that win for Coach Wilks. Looking at the Cleveland Browns versus Steelers. The Steelers have everything to play for. They now have caught their record to 8-8. They just need one game to make sure that Mike Tomlin's streak stays active of him not having a losing season. While as a Pittsburgh coach, they still have an outside shot to get inside the big game. I think that Cleveland, Deshaun Watson, is making strides to get back to the old quarterback we knew him to be. It's going to be tough in that game, but you got to think. It's a lot riding on that game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to come out victorious in that one. You're looking at the Chargers versus Broncos. The Chargers don't have anything to play for. The Broncos have everything to play for. This is going to be a show-out game for basically the Broncos players that want to make the team next year, or it's just play tape as far as getting film, good film, stuff like that. I don't expect the Chargers to really have their starters in this game because they are in the playoffs. They have clinched. I'm picking the Broncos to win this one. There's nothing to play for there. The Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Football Giants. A very interesting game because the Philadelphia Eagles have lost 2 straight without Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position. They did lose to Dallas. They did lose last week to the Saints. And you're looking, okay, if they win this game, they're the number 1 seed. If they lose this game, they possibly could be overtaken by the 49ers. So in this one, you got to ask yourself, did Jalen Hurts play? Probably so. The New York Football Giants, are they going to play their starters? Probably not play their starters the full game. But if they do, I still pick the Philadelphia Eagles to win this one. That number 1 seed in that extra week of rest is going to mean a lot for Jalen and the team. I think that they have the recipe to possibly win a Super Bowl, so they're going to play it on out. The Arizona Cardinals taking on the San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a big game for the Niners because you got to ask yourself, they're going to be playing simultaneously with the Philadelphia Eagles. So they don't know if they're going to be resting starters. They don't know what's going to be happening. So I see the 49ers putting their starters out there. I see them going for a win in this one, trying to put the game away quick so they can rest their guys. I see that happening, and I think the 49ers will win this game big. Looking at the onslaught that's coming up next, the Rams versus Seahawks. I'm not even going to waste my time with this. I got the Seahawks winning this one big. Cowboys versus Commanders. The Dallas Cowboys have everything to play for. The Washington Commanders are not in the playoffs. I think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to try to annihilate the Washington Commanders on national television. I think that, from the standpoint of Dallas, they have something to play for. They have an outside shot of still winning the NFC East, so they're going to try to win that game. I'm picking them to win that game. And lastly, the Detroit Lions taking on the Packers. This game is win or go home. If the Packers can somehow win this game, boom, there you go. If the Lions can somehow win this game, boom, there you go. So this is the play-in game, essentially. I think the Detroit Lions have the better roster. The Packers have the better quarterback for sure. But when you think about the defense as of late or what the Packers have been doing, Alexander looks great. You saw what he did against the Minnesota Vikings last week. When playing inspired, this Green Bay team has a lot to play for. But overall, you got to ask yourself, does Dan Campbell have one more game in him? Can he get these guys motivated to go up against the Green Bay Packers and somehow end their season? I'm picking the Green Bay Packers to win this game. I feel like, the Green Bay Packers right now are on fire. Dan Campbell, I love the Detroit Lions. They had a couple of games they could have won to get in, but Green Bay is just too hot right now. Aaron Rodgers is feeling it, and it's tough. It's just tough. I had a lot of faith in them, but I feel like Green Bay has one more epic game in them, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to come out and play on fire. So this has been your Week 18 full slate of games. All you NFL fans, get in the comment section. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus for all the breakdowns and all the updates. And as always, we thank you so very much, and we'll see you in the very next video.